And what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Basic Entertainment, and welcome to the season finale, series finale, maybe, of our spoiler talk coverage on the Falcon Winter Soldier. As the show has wrapped up, we'll be talking about this episode and the show as a whole, but I'm going to introduce my special guests of the week, some of them returning. So here we go, Luk Reviews. What's up, Luke?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me back. I've been waiting 5 weeks for this opportunity.
Of course, man, and you're always welcome. And Mchat.
How you doing, guys? Once again, Matt, thank you for having me on. Very excited to talk about this season finale because I really enjoyed it personally. I don't know about everyone else, but yeah, I liked it a lot.
And my co-host, who's been running with me with this and the show before and the shows to come after, Shamoon Reacts. What's up?
What is up, guys? I can't wait to talk about this finale, and there's so much to talk about, and afterwards, can't wait to get into it.
Of course, man. So Maniac is in a chat. Hey guys.
What is up?
Hello there.
Elevator.
Elevators
is
has to be.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Elevators is different.
Elevators.
If you put the hammer in an elevator, it would still go up. Elevator's not worthy.
Elevator's not worthy. So what's up, guys? Tell us in the chat how you guys feeling the episode. So let's go ahead and go to our recap section, but it's going to be a little different as we're going to recap the entire show, and our Luk Reviews is going to recap the show and then the episode 6. So here we go. Episode 1. Recap
Are
it.
you going to let it slide? Is it going?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so Sam's like, damn, I couldn't sell it at the pawn shop. I guess I'll give it to the museum. So he gives it to the Captain America Museum, and he's really looking at it. He's like, wow, the shield, it's made out of vibranium. Wow.
That was episode 1.
Steve's in the back. Oh, I have to recap the whole episode from one image. Oh. Then he flies about for a bit, like a falcon, hence the name. Then he goes to Tunisia with Torres. He's like, Steve's not on the moon.
Who knows?
Bucky's sleeping on the ground, and he's drinking tea, and he's going to the therapist. And then the Captain America from Wish shows up on TV with the shield, and Bucky and Sam are both like, oh, damn, that's not good.
And that leads into our second episode, episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man.
Okay, Sam and Bucky meet up. Bucky's like, damn, why did you give up the shield? Sam's like, I don't know what he said, but probably something. Then they go to Germany to not drink beer, but to find these flag smasher dudes. They hop on the truck, and they get their ass kicked, and John Walker shows up. He's like, hey, Captain America, hey. And then they too get their ass kicked, and Bucky and Sam roll around in the field, and they walk behind the truck that John Walker and the other guy is in. Bucky's like, did you jump on a grenade? He's like, yeah, 4 times. Oh, okay. What's next? I don't know, probably something with the flag smashers. Oh, they say, oh, we need Zemo's help. So they go find Zemo.
And that leads into episode 3, The Power Broker.
And now Zemo's like, hey, I'm your new favorite character now. So they go to the MCU version of Macau or something. And then they're like, oh, we got to find a power broker. He's like, oh, who's a power broker? Ooh, secret cameo at the end of the last episode. And they kill the lady, the golden goose, and they are on the run. Oh, and before that, Zemo lets loose in the club. And they're like, oh, this guy, he made some super serum in the container. So then they go and kill him. And then Zemo puts on his masks for whatever reason. And then they get out of here, and Bucky doesn't move his seat up. Oh, no. Yeah, Bucky doesn't move his seat up. It's not Sam. And then they go somewhere else. They go to Riga, Latvia, represent. And then that's the end of the episode.
That was episode 3, The Power Broker. Episode 4, the whole world is watching.
The whole episode takes place in the great city of Riga, Latvia, even though it was filmed in Prague, which is a catastrophe for us.
He's going to start a war.
World War III.
Zemo rents an Airbnb. He's like, oh, Turkish delight. He gives candy to kids. You know, there's a lot you can say about that. But he gets the answers. They go to this woman's funeral to get the answers. And John Walker's like, hey, you can't walk around Latvia without being noticed. Ooh, Latvia name drop. Represent. And then they get pissed at each other. And Carly accidentally kills Battlestar, and John Walker's like, I gotta take the steroids now. And then he goes and kills this random dude, and everyone's like, oh, World Star. and then the episode ends on that shot.
And then episode 5, right before episode 6, Truth.
So Bucky and Sam almost get their ass kicked, but then they work together to fight John, and then they leave. Sam's like, the shield is mine, lol. Then they leave. Then they go to fix the boat. Then they get a whole 2 boat fixing montages because 1 just wasn't enough. Then John Walker goes to court. He gets a slap on the wrist. That's about it. And he goes to build his shield in the basement, not a cave like Tony Stark did, but he builds it in the basement. And then Sam's stunt double does about 50 front flips and throws a frisbee around. And Bucky and Sam go their separate ways for a bit. And Bucky's like, hey, Wakanda, hook my man up with some new wings. And Zemo goes to prison after Bucky didn't shoot him because he absolutely pranked him.
All right, so let me get the episode lined up. But that was pretty good. That was pretty nice, solid recap of each of those episodes.
I worked with what I had.
But Luke, are you ready for the speed round?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Episode? All right, here we go. Gonna start it up. Got to boot it up right here. All right.
Carly's like, ooh, look at our red light. So scary. And Falcon's like, oh, I'm the American flag now, by the way. And he throws his frisbee through a window. He's like, I'm Captain America. I thought Captain America was on the moon. He's like, oh, I'm still Captain America, but I'm on a bridge now. And Bucky's like, I'm on a motorcycle now. And he's chasing after the flag smashers probably. And John Walker's really, really pissed. And he's like, oh, Lamar's life didn't matter. And now he's like, oh, I'm a good guy now. He's like that Katy Perry song, Hot and Cold. He just switches all the time. And Falcon does his best Buzz Lightyear impression. And Carly and Sharon point guns at each other. Carly dies. Sam's like, oh, why did you do that? Also, the French guy dies. And then Falcon is an angel now, and he portrays Carly as the good guy, sort of. And he shouts at the politicians, like, you're all idiots. And then Isaiah Bradley's like, maybe he was right. And John Walker's like, ooh, does it come in black? He's like, it's the same, but black. And Bucky's like, oh, by the way, I killed your son. Bye. And Isaiah Bradley's like, oh, thank you for building me a statue. And there's the statue. And they have a cookout, and Bucky's invited, and it's all happy ending. And it plays a cool song. And then it turns out that Sharon is the bad guy, and yeah.
All right, man. So that was a nice recap of episode 6 and the entire season. This season. All right, man. So overall, what's your guys' thoughts? We're gonna go to Luke, Mchat, and then back to Shamoon, and then back up to me. So Luke, kick it off.
So the finale?
Yeah.
All right. Looking back at it, I feel like it was quite rushed compared to so much of what we had set up in the 5 episodes, and they had to cram it all in one episode in the end. I feel like the show definitely tried to do too much in only 6 episodes. Maybe it was affected by COVID and what have you. If they had more episodes, they probably could have handled it better. But everything in this was like, okay, we got to do this. We got to wrap this arc up. We got to get John to be good again. And it had its moments. Definitely had its moments, but I think it definitely could have been better handled.
Mchat?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the finale. Now you're speaking about it, yes, I definitely think it was a little bit rushed. Nowhere near as much as what WandaVision was, because I think this season managed to wrap up a few storylines in the episode before, so you had a little bit less to do in that last episode. But I think that, like, in terms of just great action, great moments, obviously Sam finally taking up the mantle of Captain America. He's got the suit. I think it just delivered on those aspects, but I could definitely see that it was rushed. It kind of was that situation as well where it's like a Return of the King, where it's got like 3 different endings, almost, where you got like scene after scene just wrapping things up. It's definitely doing that as well. But overall, I really enjoyed it. To me, it was a satisfying end. I thought the post-credit scene was like a really mediocre one, to be honest, because it didn't really give much. I think much like everyone else, I was expecting Thunderbolt setup post-credit scene, maybe something else Captain America related, or where these characters are going next, which we'll talk about after the spoiler talk. But yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. Solid episode, probably not the best of the show, but yeah, a satisfying conclusion nonetheless.
Shamoon?
I'm kind of echoing what Luke said about it being rushed. It was a action-packed finale, had some big moments, but it was very rushed. Like, even the action, I feel like we kind of got a half-assed version in some sense. I liked the start. I liked like the first 20 minutes of this episode. But again, I feel like after the last episode, I was expecting a bit more. I was actually expecting a bit more of a longer episode. It was very short. So for a finale, you're expecting, okay, an hour minimum, at least an hour, at least the same length as the last episode. It was too rushed. But like, that being said, I did like the costume, the whole entrance with Sam I love the costume. I think that was amazing. I like the stuff they did with Isaiah, really nice how they did that. And I think this episode also really gave us more understanding on Sam. He had some pretty big moments. I feel like the speech was a bit on the nose, but I can understand why. But like, yeah, I think I still feel like Bucky was kind of like a bit underused in this episode, and then John as well. Just it was in there for like 5 minutes, and then that's it. Not much on him. But I would say I'm like satisfied to an extent. I'm not like fully satisfied because I know, like Luke said, about the COVID getting away. That could be the possibility. But yeah, I think it was a little bit better than the WandaVision finale, and that's the more important thing.
It's good to hear because you kind of look like you had a disappointed look on your face, more like a WandaVision season finale where it was just like it was kind of unsatisfying. It was a cake unbaked, and I feel like I feel like I'm not gonna say I was disappointed or anything, but I do feel like this episode was rushed. But what can you really do when you had a global pandemic going on while shooting?
Right.
I feel like the makeup on here was so much cleaner than WandaVision. You could just tell WandaVision they couldn't even have some actors who do reshoots. Here, Elisa looked consistent when it was shooting. Some stuff over there just didn't look consistent. But I this episode, I would agree with Mchat. I feel like they had to do less in this episode. I do feel like John Walker's kind of his character arc kind of finished in episode 5. And I'm kind of glad that it wasn't, in a way, now looking back at it, I'm kind of glad for his character that it wasn't a 3-way fight. I'm out for revenge. He should still show that he is a good person. And it makes him more compelling that he is a good person, but he like the U.S. agent character is in the comics. He is Captain America, but the Punisher version of him. And
I feel like the whole thing with Lamar, like for one episode he was angry, and then that's it. After that, it's like they've kind of the whole thing with Carly and the Flag Smashers. They were just it was really dumb. Like they tried to make us sympathize with her when she gets killed by Sharon, and it's like she nearly got killed by Zemo. She was shot by Zemo. Could have died there, but obviously they wait till the finale. I just think the Sharon stuff as well, the power broker stuff, that was kind of lazy. And I think a lot of people were predicting it, but at the same time, you're just like, they're just going to reveal it like that. So I just kind of it kind of just gives you more questions rather than conclusion to that. So I think the real power broker isn't her. I think she's just probably playing on that or works for the power broker.
I think it has. I think it's interesting that they're going that route with that character. It gives her some things to do in future installments in the MCU. But I feel like it's kind of inconsistent when you hear a dialogue like Zemo. He said, "I met the power broker." So does he know?
Right.
That was a dialogue in episode 3 that he met the power broker. So does he know? Did he know that Sharon Carter was the power broker? No, he didn't, because he never brought it up. So the power broker still has to be out there.
That's a bit of a plot hole then.
It's kind of is a plot hole, but it's kind of like it could be they could work around it. Like how the MCU did. They do the cheat codes and stuff, but it could be a thing where it's like a power broker before her. And it's like another power broker, or
like a mantle type thing, like
something like that. But I do feel like this episode in particular was rushed. But I mean, we still got some cool moments, especially with Sam Wilson. This was a Sam Wilson focused episode, and him taking up that costume and that shield was epic, man. It's
straight out of the comics.
Straight out from the comics, it looks beautiful, and it's just like this is the moments I'm always looking for. I'm always looking for this heroic moments, and I feel like the show was lacking heroic moments until this episode. And then you got the whole speech at the end, which some people would say it's on the nose. I feel like it was like a nice Captain America speech, because Captain America, the character, is supposed to be for the people. It's not, he was telling the Senates and the UNs and all of them governments to step up because they're failing us. So it's yeah. And Anthony Mackie delivers the dialogue very clean.
I think Steve kind of called it out, when they weren't doing certain things, but Sam really, like, they even had that on TV, like the whole speech. When he said to the senator, "You need to step up," I love that. Like, that just, I think that immediately made you think, yeah, Sam's Cap. Like, he's speaking like Cap, he's fitting the whole thing, and he's finally accepted that he has to be Captain America, because this whole journey and the whole point of the series was to kind of go through the whole motion of him leaving the shield and not actually taking it up. But he knows it was a mistake, so he's like really understanding that, and just the mannerisms and the ways, kind of even helping Bucky. He's kind of very very similar to Steve, but he's not Steve. He's Sam. It's very very similar there. But again, it goes to that thing. He's a good man, not perfect soldier.
Yeah, I think this whole show, what it did best, it made me buy into why Sam should be Cap. Right. Like throughout the whole series, like not just in the last episode. I think that's what it did best.
And I think they do a good job of showing kind of like this is a Sam Wilson Captain America, because they put him in a situation in this episode where he had to save people in a helicopter. We know damn well, Captain America Steve Rogers couldn't be in that situation. You can't put him in that situation. I just think too, like he's pretty much like they tech him up very well.
Like Iron Man.
He's like Iron Man and Captain America mixed into one, which is
that's
awesome.
what I said earlier on.
So you're gonna the action stuff you're gonna get from Sam Wilson Captain America moving forward is gonna be fun, exciting. Jumping around, using the wings, using the shield. He didn't use the shield too much in this episode. Not as much, I feel like. But
I was expecting a little bit more.
Quite a bit, but I just not the type I will. My favorite Captain America movie is the ones where he throws a shield and it ricochets. He didn't really. He
used it in the fight with Batroc. Then he used it a little bit when he's fighting the Flag Smashers, and then he used it when he was like throwing it at that helicopter. So there wasn't too much, and just when he throws it out of like the window, that's like the only time really.
And it was cool. Was able to stop it with a chair.
I was about to say that.
So
he stopped it with
that's
a chair.
the scene. I was.
Is the chair made of vibranium too?
No, do you know what? I had this debate.
I think it's not the movement.
I think it's because he hasn't got that super strength. Because remember, he doesn't have the serum, so he's not going to be able to have that strength that he does, like Steve or John does when he throws the shield. Because if that was him with serum strength, that chair would have got it. That chair would have probably gone. Like,
yeah. But Sam and Anthony Mackie, I'm excited to see where they go from here with his character. But this episode was focused on him, and then you get the nice, Bucky in this episode. He was fine. The last moment they give him at the end was nice. It comes full circle. But Elevator in the chat, want Steve playing the Frisbee in the moon. Sharon being the power worker seemed lazy, writing to be it was very obvious, kind of like Agnes being Agnes the
Right.
Harkness. Yeah, that is true.
I heard
But,
the jokes about it was Sharon all along.
Yeah, but it's the. I mean,
I don't know whether it's lazy writing as such. It's just that everyone theorizes.
yeah.
You know, I think like even if you had a massive plot twist, someone would theorize it and get it right.
I'll tell you why I agree with what Elevator's Not Worthy saying. It's because it's the way they delivered it. Oh, I'm the power broker. Like it was just, it was like, yeah, you were
It's a
expecting
forgettable
it.
scene, really.
It's just not a very
It was a
powerful
very
scene to
forgettable
introduce
scene.
as like someone being the power broker. The power broker was kind of this big name that's thrown out there. The theories, some people were saying Fisk could have been the power broker, and then you're just like, oh, it's Sharon, who a lot of people were already saying. It's like kind of, it is kind of lazy in a sense. Like they could have.
She's not menacing either. Like the power broker is built up as like this big threat and someone that you should fear, but then it's just Sharon Karen. It's just like,
And the way she
I'm not
changed her
scared of her
mannerisms
in any way.
She went from being all this evil, like the way she's talking to Carly, I'm disappointed in you, and then going back to being that Sharon Carter that everyone knows. It's like that
Playing
made me kind of think, yeah, Two-Face. I know that's like she's trying to hide the truth, but that kind of threw me off. Like, what are they trying to do with Sharon? Like, they're throwing it. It's very messy with how they dealt their character.
But like, I mean, they're giving her something to do. I mean, if she's gonna continue on, I mean, I don't want to see Sharon Carter. It's gonna be kind of boring, you know. So her becoming the power broker, we'll see what they do. But I do feel like that in the credits.
There was a theory that
I think it's gonna set
she is a Skrull.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that theory.
Yeah, about the her and what's it called? The guy from One Division. Hale was it?
Hayward. I haven't heard of that. I basically heard
it was those two characters because people said that the personalities fell off. Like with Haywood, it was that he didn't sound like the same person that Maria Rambeau made head of Sword, and then obviously with Sharon, she doesn't really feel like she did in Civil War and Winter Soldier. So it's a good theory, but it's kind of like every time you get a character that seems a bit off, you know, you can't really make every single one of them a Skrull just because they feel off. It just going to get a little bit lazy, I think, and just a bit of a cop out.
That's going to be something that people will start to think about now. Like, is this person going to be a Skrull now? I think it would be interesting to see how this connects to Secret Invasion. Because, I think Sharon could... someone said something that made her a Skrull. So, you remember in Endgame when the Avengers are looking at who's been snapped away? Sharon Carter popped up on the screen. So, she was allegedly snapped away. But then I think in the show, she says about living those years or something. But then she was technically snapped away.
That'll be between Civil War and Infinity War. So that's like 3 years, maybe.
No, but I think there was something she said, and it was kind of insinuating that she'd been alive the whole time. But then
she was in the States in Civil War, no? Wasn't she in the States in Civil War?
No, she hooked them up with gear in Germany.
She went underground after that. So the 2 years.
Oh, okay. But that doesn't match up because that was 2 years.
And the thing is, Steve would have checked up on her because look what Steve did for that. I mean, look what Sharon did for Steve and Sam to get the
right.
You know, that's a big deal. Like, surely he would have checked up on her, but I guess he didn't know her whereabouts because he was going underground, just like with Widow and Sam.
Or maybe
the cords.
Maybe the power broker's Mephisto.
It's Al Pacino.
Well, I had another theory
with mountains of coke.
There's another theory that Val is actually the power broker. But
see, I would have said that like from the start.
Yeah, I would have expected that.
It's like it just felt right.
She has a lot of power.
The power broker, exactly.
Look at the stuff with John. Like, she was able to make him US agent. She's working. She obviously knows a lot of people in high places.
And like she knew about like the super soldier serum and stuff.
Right.
Like, she had like a good idea of that, and obviously super soldier serum for the Flag Smashers came from.
If that ends up being the case where Sharon and Val know each other and they just didn't interact in the series, because that's just kind of giving it away there. But again, we'll see what happens with that.
But I had an idea about Power Broker, that there was no Power Broker, that it was just like an idea, but Marvel would never have the balls to do that.
Was it like a Mandarin type thing where they just kind of weren't going to show the Mandarin at the time? And
No,
then
The
they
real
now
power
finally.
broker is out
No,
there
it-
somewhere.
maybe everyone says there is a power broker, but there actually isn't one. Like, it's just I don't. It's hard to. I
It does.
can't
It
think of an
sounds like a
example,
title you
but
could just call yourself.
That was like a
that's it.
myth.
yeah,
like a myth,
like a myth.
like kids' stories trying to scare people.
Yeah,
When
I would
the
be
thing doesn't actually
disappointed.
exist.
I think
would be.
that'd be a different turn.
Be interesting, but-
Marvel would never do that because they
No.
need an answer for everything.
Right. But I do feel like I don't know who said it here in the chat that the after credits was kind of disappointing because usually Marvel Studios
I
after
thought-
credits,
I think.
credits
I
to
agree.
Mchat. They're supposed to get you excited, and it seems like they're
They didn't
building up
do
to
anything.
Armor Wars. She's gonna be like the main antagonist of it. That's just not exciting to me. to
I
be
think
quite
she
honest with
will
you.
be definitely a part of all that series. I just think the only thing I got out of that scene is so allegedly in one of the comics, I think it's the 2007 issue, The Death of Captain America. There's a comic where she kills Cap, she shoots him, and
Oh yeah, one more.
that shot of the post credit is I don't know if that's kind of like the location where Steve does, but I know he's on the steps and he's dead because he gets shot. I don't know if that's kind of and the way Sharon saved Bucky and Sam when they were in Madripoor, she was like sniping. I don't know if they're kind of teasing her trying to be a bigger villain down the road, maybe like in the next Captain America film, because that would kind of be interesting. But again, like I agree with I think Yui said it Mchat, like it was the post credit was a bit even the WandaVision one was a bit more like
it's more exciting and gets you like hyped and stuff. Because even like the Skrull one, it didn't really add anything different because we'd already seen people with Skrulls.
To be fair, I
disagree.
I feel like that's kind of teasing Secret War. I mean, not Secret Wars, a Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Well, we'd already had that though with the what was it Far From Home end credits with Nick Fury in space.
Yeah, in a sense, but
it
like
says the same thing.
It's slowly building it up because, like, I think
it was still more
it's just
exciting than this
up.
one.
Yeah. This just the after credits I was expecting a little bit more from it. I don't know.
I was hoping
more,
for a second one.
Yeah,
I was
to the end. I'm like,
for a second one too.
Yeah,
but yeah. So, but that doesn't take away the episode because you could just skip those after credits. They don't really add too much, to be honest with you. But we got some comments here from Elevator. I actually like John Walker. Like, remove what he did to Nico. He's not that bad of a person. You can see he is badly suffering from PTSD, and he just wanted to be like Steve.
Yeah,
you can see
is.
that. Yeah, John Walker's awesome.
At the end of the day, like, sure, he killed someone in cold blood, but that's one person he's killed. Like, obviously, he's still alive, and you shouldn't accept that.
The thing is, I think there's
like loads of characters that have killed people before, and no one makes a big deal of it.
Right.
Just because it was made a big deal of that, everyone naturally is going to make a big deal of it.
There's actually several. I think there is about several characters in the MCU who's done something like quite bad, and they've just not been judged for it.
Look at Tony Stark.
Iron
I mean,
Man. Tony Stark. Yeah, Captain America.
Lots of people.
Decapitate someone.
Yeah, Captain America's killed people.
Yeah, Black Panther has killed people, but the difference here is that, Black Panther and even Hydra. Here's a nice little parallel. Winter Soldier, Hydra. They have, Steve. They're all lined up in the highway, and one of the backups. He was telling Crossbones. He was, they're watching. People are watching, and then boom, Black Panther. When he has Claw, he was gonna kill him. But people were watching. So that was that difference there. That he did that.
He had people to pull him back, though. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, that was the difference.
But obviously, John didn't in that moment because he'd lost Lamar, and Lamar was the only person who was going to bring him back from that, and no one was there to do it.
Lamar, like, he lost when he lost Lamar, he lost himself, and he's unstable.
Lost that moral.
And one thing I didn't understand is people going, "Oh, this Nico guy, he killed him. He was a Captain America fan." But this guy was a terrorist in his eyes. Remember, John said they can't be talking to Carly. She's a terrorist. Same. I kind of annoyed him when Sam goes, "They're not terrorists. You got to stop calling them that." But they technically are terrorists. Like,
technically are, but
it just sounds like a bad word. But like,
I think it was just to explain, like, they became this because they didn't like help her in the first place, but. Yeah, I just think they were bad. Like, Nico wasn't innocent. Like, he was doing bad things.
Well, they blew up that factory, didn't they? Like, that will have had.
That was Carly.
That
was Carly.
That was mainly Carly. But yeah,
here's the thing with the Flag Smashers, and I have to agree, they are the weakest part of the show, but it's just they feel inconsistent. Like you can really tell in this episode that they're
you can't
missing
empathize
something
with them because they do things that make them unlikable. Like in the finale, especially, they're willing to. Well, Carly especially, anyway.
She
she's
actually
willing
just
to
pissed
kill
me
the
off.
hostages. Yeah, she's willing to kill the hostages. That like you can't really sympathize with the character because it's fair enough taking hostages for your reasons.
What she
but
said
you
to
never
John,
have any intention of killing them.
only kill people that matter.
I don't want to hurt anyone that doesn't matter. Like what?
Yeah,
Carly.
I just it's disappointing because I feel like Marvel, they've been on a good streak with villains. Like if you don't, they're not epic or anything, but there's some cool ones. Like I'm a fan of Mysterio from Far From Home. Some people,
Mysterio, like I don't think his character is amazing, but he's cool.
I like him.
He's
it
cool
was the
to
Jake
look at. He's
Gyllenhaal, the
memorable.
cool costume, cool stuff he was doing.
Yeah, and then you had Killmonger, Thanos,
Agnes, the Harkness.
Jude
I
Law.
thought Agnes was fine.
John Rowe.
Jude Law.
Yeah, he was.
I thought she was fine, but the Flag Smashers in here, they were kind of.
See, the thing as well, it made me laugh is when
they were kind of
when Carly's, when they're kind of regrouping, and Carly's saying about she said One World, and they kind of hesitate. It's like they don't even know what they're doing. They're kind of riding along with Carly, and now they're hesitating. It's like surely they were so about their goal in the first place. Like now they're just suddenly going, "No, let's not do this. I don't have any faith in Carly anymore." It's kind of like these guys don't even trust each other.
She's going off the rails. That's why.
Right, but surely the whole thing in the first place was off the rails,
Yeah,
I guess,
it would have been better if she, was something like
she was trying to make super soldiers. That's quite extreme.
It's just the way how she died was kind of underwhelming too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
but,
that whole part
I don't care if you die here. Like, I don't sympathize with you in any way.
And they try to make you sympathize. But I just like the whole part with Sam Wilson. He kind of puts everything in perspective, and this is why I like the show is that they keep it real. They tell you all this stuff, and it's just very grounded dialogue here. And then the Sam Wilson speech, some people will say it's on the nose and stuff. Like that one part where the guys,
it's hard not to make it on the nose.
It's hard not, but it's
I think it's like he's had enough, and that was his moment to say how we felt about the whole situation. Because Sam, from the first place, was trying to help Carly calmly, and obviously the stuff with Walker coming in didn't help and kind of ruined that idea. He could have changed her, and he knows that if the government just basically gave her the help in the first place, like obviously this wouldn't have happened. If you guys just did your job in a sense, there wouldn't have been a Carly. Like she wouldn't have had to do this. And he said about Carly 2.0, I love that point he made, because there's going to be someone out there that's going to try and do it again or whatever.
He brings up Infinity War. There's gods powerful forces that we know out there that can wipe out half of the world, So it puts everything in perspective. It puts everything great. And I just, that stuff like that is awesome because it's very much like a Captain America speech. It's that optimistic stuff that, some other companies are kind of missing. What they're.
Did you guys kind of get like a Winter? So that fight scene at the end of the Winter Soldier when Steve's fighting Bucky and he's kind of like, "I won't fight you."
Yeah,
that reminded me a little bit of that scene because the way Sam was so reluctant to fight Carly made me laugh there when he says Carly. There's like a line, he just says Carly. It's just the way he delivered it. It made me laugh.
Right.
Bucky only has 8 lines in Winter Soldier.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really?
And then
who the hell is Bucky? Is one of them?
Yeah. Isn't Shaw one of them as well?
Yeah, that's one.
I'm pretty sure that's the line.
Yeah, shut up. Stop talking. Do you guys hear about the theory that Sharon talking to Norman Osborn in the end credits scene when she's walking out of the court?
We're back to the Reed Richards as the engineer.
That's a Mephisto level theory.
A little Mephisto level right there. But
why would you? Where's the logic from that come from? Like, why would she be talking to Norman Osborn?
Yeah, you got the symbiote.
In fact, actually,
no. Actually,
if she's talking on the phone, that actually kind of makes sense. Like selling things to Oscar, but at the end of the day, Oscar makes.
You know who I think they're gonna? I feel like they're gonna bring back
Justin Hammer.
Nah, they're gonna bring him back, but they're gonna bring back Goggins his actor's name from Ant-Man and Wasp. Walter Goggins. They're probably gonna bring him back. Maybe the Power Broker is the same Power Broker as the ones they were using. So they can find a way to connect that. But,
Armor Wars could actually set up Norman Osborn. They could, if they are going that route, the end of that series.
They could have him Iron Patriot, couldn't you?
Oh yeah,
Dark Avengers. Yes, Dark Avengers. Again, he kind of takes. Again, it's like a John Walker version. It's like another version of Iron Man. Like essentially, Norman Osborn is an evil version of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Again, that would be awesome to see.
But it's kind of interesting how can they use, when it comes to like the Spider-Man characters, how much can they use from like Norman Osborn? You know what I'm saying? Like how much they can use of, characters like that. It's like contracts and stuff. But that would be cool. I'm always down for that. I think Norman Osborn needs to get taken in a different direction a little bit. Well, there was supposed to be a second end credit scene, but they cut it because you would have to see Black Widow first, and it contained Yelena, Ross, and Val.
Yelena was supposed to show up in this series. That was apparently one of the cameos they cut. And apparently Steve they were going to do one as well. But I feel like that was just what a lot of people kind of wanted. So I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I
don't know.
You got the Yelena.
You got the Yelena pop. I don't know. Like, I feel like there has to be some rewrites and some reshots and reshoots in here. I feel like also to a Val. I feel like it was supposed to, like that. Her introduction in Black Widow is gonna feel so weird now.
Yeah.
In a way, it's gonna be like because you're supposed to Black Widow. We talked about the schedule thing. Black Widow was supposed to come out first, and then Falcon Winter Soldier. So it was supposed to be a moment where while you're watching that episode, you'll be like, "Oh, this is the chick from Black Widow."
Yeah,
but now it's like it flipped. So, I mean, we'll see how that plays out.
It depends how big a role she has in Black Widow, because they could just take it out if it's like
it could be
cameo. It might even just be an end credit scene. Like we don't know.
I just think it would have again teased the Thunderbolts more because she's in that team, so it'd have to.
Yeah,
and she's confirmed for Hawkeye.
Is she?
Yeah,
she's confirmed. So she's showing up in that. So I feel like they're kind of building her character slowly, just like Black Widow they did with her and Iron Man 2 and then Winter Soldier and so forth.
Yeah.
So,
and that's actually like one of my problems with this show. It's like, oh, Zemo's there. Oh, he's going to be there for the future. Oh, John Walker's there. Oh, they're setting him up for the future. Oh, Falcon's there. Oh, he's going to be setting up for the future.
That's the MCU thing, I feel like. That's kind of
like they're doing it so much in this and WandaVision. They did that a lot.
Yeah,
in shows.
I get that, but it's just like the MCU. That's the MCU formula.
I think in a way,
within something. Sometimes I just feel like it depends how much. Like, is it like an Iron Man 2 situation where like they're just setting up the Avengers way too much, or they're setting up, or Amazing Spider-Man, they're setting up the Sinister Six way too much. But it comes down to, does it feel contained and within its own story? And I feel like if you look
Spider-Man 2 was another level.
Yeah, and I feel like MCU, they contain it, and sometimes they don't contain it. But I feel like in this show and even WandaVision, I feel like they do.
Age of Ultron's another example of that.
Age of Ultron
set up for other stuff.
I think the issue with that is that right now Marvel are in a rebuild because the Endgame fallout is massive. Like, where are they going with this? Are they doing like more like self-contained things? Are they building towards something? Do they have a direction? I'm sure they do, and it's all going to work out in Avengers 5 or whatever it may be. But what are they now building towards?
I think
they're
building this goal of
Endgame
Endgame this whole time. But like, what is it now? What is it now?
Yeah, and I think I kind of prefer that better. It seems like we're getting like mini storylines for each of these groups and characters, right?
Yeah.
Right now,
you have like three sides of the MCU now. You kind of have like grounded stuff, which is Falcon, Winter Soldier,
Cosmic,
Hawkeye,
and then you got the multiverse stuff going on.
Multiverse,
right now.
and then Cosmic as well.
And
it's
the
multiverse to kind of go toe and toe, like
but
when it's in the films,
But right now, I feel like MCU is not in no rush to set up their next movie like that. Like, we just got the news. We're going to talk about it later on, but we're going to have a Captain America 4 movie starring Sam Wilson. So it's like they're not really in a rush to build up to anything. And I feel like that's fine with me. You know, I'm right now. I'm actually digging Phase 4. To be quite honest with you, Phase 4 stylistically, it has a voice. It's more creative. It's more fresher. Like even WandaVision, I talked about this many times. It took the risk. It took the risk of being different, and some people liked it, some people don't.
I think
and Falcon Winter Soldier was that MCU that we like. It's that Winter Soldier theme, that Civil War stuff, and then Loki looks great. Shang-Chi, that's how you pronounce it. Shang-Chi looks great too.
Shang-Chi.
Isn't it Shang-Chi?
It's Shang-Chi.
I prefer Jung-Chi because the guy who plays him is Jung in the
Kim.
show.
Yeah, Kim Convenience. But
So
martial arts movie, that's awesome. So
with kind of going with what Luke was saying, like the thing is with Phase 4, it's Phase 1, 2, and 3. We didn't have miniseries. We had those Marvel one shots, but that was it. It wasn't a Disney Plus.
That's
series.
like nothing though. Like you could throw.
But no, but my point is,
away.
it was something slightly, you know. I mean, that was the difference with the series.
Yeah,
now.
I know what you mean.
So they're expanding the universe with so many storylines, and I think the direction at first is going to confuse people because, like, with what we're thinking is, they're setting up loads. Nothing's happening in the series. It's just literally all these episodes we're just trying to link up to Sam becoming Cap, and then we'll get that fully fledged version of him being Cap in the film. And then, of course, in the next Avengers film, they haven't announced the next Avengers project yet. But I think that's because they want like Luke said, it's a reboot phase. That's exactly what Feige said. It's like a cool down. We're not got that end game level hype. We're trying to expand the universe and keep it being exciting. And linking back what we said when we started doing the WandaVision stuff, like they are trying to give you more content on a weekly, monthly basis rather than those stretches where you're having no content for months. So it's just to keep you more engaged. But in some ways, I think because of the COVID situation, it's ruined what we wanted to see in these series. But at the same time, they're just trying to keep you engaged and more of a fan. But I feel like they're saving all the big stuff for the movies, but they could add some of these things into the series. But I guess because of COVID, they didn't, they cut things out like cameos and all this.
Right. But no, man. Phase 4 is pretty much like we're back to Phase 1. I feel like, but the expectations are going to be so high after Endgame.
Yeah,
so it might let a lot of people down. But for me, I can set my expectations low. And I did in this show. Came out positive, doing the same thing with next projects. But right now, I am digging Phase 4. I am digging it a lot. Be quite honest.
That's probably the best way to go about it.
I think when it's all said and done, when I have a prediction that Fantastic Four is going to be the one that ends out Phase 4. I think this is going to be the best phase. I have a feeling it's going to be the most consistent, different, and exciting phase.
I don't know.
I think it's a little soon for Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think Fantastic Four is Phase 5.
I think it's going to be Phase 4. I think it's going to be It's going to be in that 2023 slot. They already announced
2023 is
2023. I'd believe that, but
I think that's the last year for Phase 4.
That should be the last year of Phase 4. So
I can see that happening because, after Phase 2, they did that. They had Ant-Man right after Age of Ultron, right? So then Phase 3, Far From Home, close it out.
Fantastic Four is going to be a good way to segue, your cosmic stuff and really go into whatever they're going to do. Phase 5. Phase 5 is going to be huge because I think Phase 5 you're going to expect X-Men. You're going to get X-Men in Phase 5 soon.
I think Phase 5 is what everyone's kind of really wanting to see. You're going to
get an Avengers movie there, too.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the end of Phase 5 of the Avengers one.
If we're looking at it now, we have this one. Next thing's Loki, Shang-Chi, Eternals, What If, No Way Home, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Doctor Strange 2, Moon Knight, Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel.
That's a lot of stuff. That's
probably the biggest phase.
We got Blade. Isn't Blade supposed to be like October?
I think Blade's like
2023.
Blade did say, it's 2023. But I think 2023 they've got a October slot, and a lot of people are saying that because it's like Halloween season. Obviously, vampires is kind of a bit more horror based.
Blade would do. I don't know. Did they say Blade was going to be like? The rating for it, is it going to be like
PG-13?
It's still going to be PG-13, but it's probably.
I know
Deadpool
really is keeping that R-rated.
And where does Deadpool slot into all of this?
I think Deadpool's going to be Phase 5. I think Deadpool's going to be Phase 5.
Deadpool's just going to be like a separate thing, though. I think
I can see that.
Like it's not going to push. Like
I have a feeling they might do that thing.
Storylines.
They might joke about it, like they did with Deadpool 2 when I think they shut the door on him. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah. With the 86
Quicksilver,
Fox X-Men.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Phase 4 is awesome so far. I'm digging it. Because I'm looking forward to even like, you know, I'm giving some other stuff a chance. But What If? I'm excited for What If. Hawkeye.
I'm actually quite excited for that as well.
This show got me excited for Hawkeye. Even got me excited for
Hawkeye.
Black
I
Widow
think
a
that
little
could
bit
be the best thing of this year.
I can see that.
going to be
Best
huge.
show.
Hawkeye's gonna be fun. No Way Home. I'm excited to a certain extent, but you know, if you're talking about Toby and Andrew gonna be there, and then you got, you know, Matt Murdock,
maybe
that's gonna be hype. It's gonna be hype no matter what.
Yeah.
That film is kind of giving you that Avengers type of
Events,
film level, like that level hype.
It's like that.
Tom
It's like
Holland
that Civil
said
War
like
kind of thing.
biggest
like
standalone
similar
superhero movie.
Right. No, that's true.
Is it will it be bigger than Doctor Strange though?
I
Doctor
thought that's
Strange
going to be
huge.
ensemble.
I would assume that would be bigger. Like that's going to be like the Avengers 4.5.
I feel like Doctor
I feel
Strange is
like-
gonna be like a Civil War situation.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
same like ensemble. It's an
I'm excited
ensemble
for
in
that.
someone's solo film, so it's going to be there's going to be a lot of expectation for that. I think all my hype right now is for that film. I mean, I'm hyped for the other films,
too.
Definitely.
but that multiverse, that's all you got to say.
Yeah, Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
Sam Raimi. That's all you got to say. I'm in there. Elevators not worthy. Bucky only had 42 minutes in the MCU before Falcon Winter Soldier. Yeah, man, I think the show does a great job with Bucky. Especially I feel like even this episode when it capped off, you know, his kind of like his story arc. You know, he feels like his own guy now, and also too is like he feels like a good Bucky Barnes, because I feel like he like his Bucky Barnes side of things wasn't as good. It didn't have that much depth. The Winter Soldier stuff all there for it, but Bucky Barnes,
his like
improvement on it.
His little ending at the end wasn't very satisfying. Just knowing
I thought it was satisfying.
Not the ending. I mean, apart from when that scene when he talks to I forgot his name, because he finally tells him. I wish we got like a really deep, meaningful scene with that. It was kind of like, yeah, I killed him, and then he leaves, and that's it. It was.
I can see
I
that.
wanted to feel that, you know.
I thought that was effective though, because you didn't see the reaction. You don't know what the reaction is.
But at the same time, that would have made it way more impactful.
I guess.
And I think
it's just they're running on time, maybe, or like they just didn't think of it in that way.
But you do get that scene where he sees the waitress and him talking. And he might be disappointed. He might not want to talk to Bucky anymore. He just want to check on him. You don't know his reaction, so that's kind of like. But I'm expecting his reactions like in disbelief. But he got that closure from, when Bucky told him. So that was nice. But Elevator, all right, guys. It's really late where I'm at. So I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of the stream. Of course, Elevator. That's great for you to stop by, but we got to get into our highlight moment of this episode, starting with Luke. Take it away. Highlight.
For me, it's gonna be like when Sam showed up and he's like, "I'm Captain America." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah." The music. Henry Jackman took that Falcon theme from Winter Soldier and he blew it up. Like he just blew it up, made it more epic. That was awesome. Jackman's been great, pulling stuff from other stuff, and then making it sound even more extreme. But Ewan
and the suit was
the suit was sexy.
Yeah,
it looks really soft to touch. I don't know why. I really want to touch it.
I thought it'd be a bit more metal, but I think it's just vibranium.
Yeah.
The white padding. I just want
the suit. I think it looks even better than the comics because like that middle part looks more like. Organized.
Looks more like Cap's suit. It's kind of like the star, especially. It's kind of got a bit more of that 3D effect to it.
Yeah, and I do like the more of the white colors used, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
you guys see the thing about about he has like 2 lines going there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Steve's has 3.
Yeah,
that's like an army thing when they do.
Falling soldier or something.
Yeah, because he only has 2 because 1 is for Steve. And
are you referring to the Winter Soldier suit that Steve wore?
Yeah.
All right.
And like in the army, like they do like flybys, I guess you could call them, like out of formation. Yeah, and it's that cool detail.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That suit, something else. Ewan.
If we're not going for the same option, I don't know actually. I like the scene where I mean the speech I think is really good. I think probably that Isaiah Bradley scene actually. If I'm going to go on a different scene, I think the Isaiah Bradley moment in the museum is great closure to that character arc, and it was obviously a very powerful scene.
Shamoon?
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, I would have picked either of those scenes that you guys said. I would probably go with maybe the fight scene he has with
That truck.
yeah, because I really liked that. The music as well was great.
Yeah.
That was pretty huge. I think if I had to pick another one, it's probably the moment when Walker's trying to save those people. Literally the same score when Bucky is trying to pull out the Iron Man's like arc reactor. The same music is playing, and then he falls. But then Walker, Bucky, and Sam are together, and you see Sam throwing the shield. Actually, that moment when he saved those people, I'll give him that one. I'll choose that as my highlight moment.
And I'm gonna go with the Isaiah Bradley scene. That was awesome, man. It was deep, it was heartfelt, and it was inspiring too, man. When they were watching him on TV, you kind of see like Isaiah's like, yes, this guy, he has it. You know, Elijah Bradley. You know, they're setting up his character, and it seems like he's gonna be inspired for Falcon to become the Patriot. So that was cool, man. You know, some people talk about how like the parts where it's like, you know, oh, that's Black Falcon. It's like, no, that's Captain America. You know how it's kind of like it's on the nose. I like
it's on the nose, I like it, but I think it works.
And it's like, what are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad, or I like stuff like that.
It's better than that line. It's better than that line, though.
Black Falcon makes as much sense as Black Panther because like Panthers are just black.
The thing is, though, I'll be honest. I know they use that Black Falcon thing. I think it's like a real life thing, real world issue thing. I think just to call someone black when you don't need to refer to that. Like,
right.
I've never ever heard anyone call him Black Falcon. I've just called him the Falcon. I thought that was kind of dumb in that sense, but I guess they made like a little joke because he goes, "So are you Black Kid?" I think that was kind of just bringing it back to that,
right?
Because that made me laugh. But who the hell calls him Black Falcon? I'm like, it just
they should have called him Captain Falcon.
I like that a lot.
Falcon, yeah. I was.
He still feels like Falcon. It's just like he's got like an upgrade. I know it's not kicked in.
Yeah,
I think it's more of the mannerisms now. There's like more weight on his shoulders, and he has a lot of pressure too. And is he up for it? I think he is up for it because they give the John Walker. Yeah, he has to now.
He just freaking got the suit, and he said, "I'm Captain America."
Isaiah Bradley told him, "Dude, you're gonna put up a fight, and he might die. You know, he's up for it. He's up for the challenge. So awesome, man, to see that. So we're gonna get into our final grades.
That they should have been a flashback with Isaiah Bradley fighting Winter Soldier.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been.
It would have been.
I think it would have been a little too much fan service.
A little
bit.
I think it was more effective to just have him.
Because you're kind of understanding the gravity of that scene and how important he was. Like just seeing him a bit younger and like what he did while he was out there. Maybe they could have done if they made the series longer. I would have loved to see a bit more of an episode just about him.
I don't think you needed to though. I think like the way that Carl Lumley delivers everything. I think he really makes me feel exactly what he went through without.
But my point is, it is fan service, but I think it just would have been great to just give him that moment because he's always preaching about it. It's like I want like if he had like narrating what he was doing, that would have been pretty cool. You know, I just wanted a bit more.
Specific scene. I don't think we need to see anything else from that character though, like flashbacks. I think it would have been a bit too heavy.
It would have taken away from his performance, I think.
I think it would just add to it. I think it would just complement it. And the thing is, you obviously did. The actor Carl, he did such a great job as Isaiah. I think that was the standout thing about that character because he had so much impact. But it's how much impact he had on Sam becoming Captain America, which also made it more amazing.
Yeah, and got some comments here. Hello there.
You got free.
TCK and Connor.
Hello there.
So hello there to you guys. Thank you for joining here in the chat. Tell me what's your thoughts on the show and the episode as a whole. But let's get into our final grades of this episode and the show as a whole. Let me bring it up right here. So final grades starting with Luk Reviews for both.
I'm not entirely sure yet, but so I'm just gonna eyeball it here. For the episode, C-, maybe. And for the whole show, I do think it was kind of rushed. I'm still writing my own review for it for a video. Check it out this week if you're watching. And it does remind me of another certain season that was 6 episodes long and was quite rushed. I wouldn't point any fingers, but you know. For now, I really enjoyed it though, and it had some good messages and some great character stuff, and I really like John Walker. So I'd say C plus for now. C plus, B minus. Yeah.
Okay.
I would
so
say
C minus and then a C plus. You win.
I'd probably say for this episode, I don't know. It's between a B plus and an A minus, I think. Now we've talked about it in the pacing issues, I think I'll go B plus for this episode, and then the overall show, A minus, I think.
Shamoon?
I kind of feel similar to you on that. I feel like it could be pacing issues, rushing, like Luke said as well. For this episode, I mean, there was a lot of cool things about it, and I have been criticizing it quite a lot. But if you really take out those things about pacing and this, like, it had some really cool moments and defining moments for some characters. So I will go with a B plus as well. And overall with the series, I mean, it definitely did better than WandaVision. But I will probably go A minus as well.
And I'm pretty much gonna echo Ewan and Moon. This episode was a solid B plus. The show as a whole, A minus. I'll give my grade A minus for the show. I'll keep in my grade for my spoiler-free review. You guys can go check that out. My Basic Entertainment. But this show does a good job of so many things. You know, the hero's journey of Sam Wilson was interesting. It was compelling. It was fun to see. Bucky, and he has a nice arc. John Walker's amazing. Flag Smashers, they are weak, but I mean, I'm come to terms that I'm okay getting weak villains in superhero movies because sometimes it just doesn't work. If they get their hero right, I'm all fine. I'm all game with that. To the political messages in here was handled very well. You know, some shows they kind of feel rushed. They kind of feel like they're preaching too much. I feel like this one fit the narrative. It had a reason to be there, and I think this is the way to go. So for this episode, I'm gonna go with B, and then as a show, A minus. So yeah, man, that's our grades for the show. Of course, you guys can let us know what's your thoughts on the show too in the comments. Give us a grade on the episode and the show. So one more thing before we get out of here, as Shamoon is trying to focus.
Why does that happen? Why does that happen?
Is that the webcam you got?
Yeah, I don't know. It just randomly did it. Hold up.
Yeah, webcam
it does
thinking.
focus.
Do the old off and on again.
There you go. Before we of course head out of here, we're gonna talk about this news that came right the same day when the episode dropped. Captain America 4 is happening, and it's gonna be starting Sam Wilson. So, what's your what's your internal thoughts of it?
I'm quite excited.
Excited?
Yeah, look forward to it.
The thing is with the writer, I am worried because I mean, I don't want to blame bad writing on just COVID, because if the writing is still kind of iffy in this film, I'm going to be disappointed, because I feel like the writer did some things good and some things were just, yeah, like, what the hell is this? So, I mean, Spellman, I kind of, when I look at this show, there's like a bunch of things I'm thinking like the Russos would be pissed off with. I think the Russos would have done a better job with it, because they obviously know how to do the Captain America films from the Winter Soldier. They kind of created.
Well, I mean, the Russos don't write it, do they? It's
well, not right, but I mean, like they actually. No, I think the guys that writ Endgame, was it?
Yeah, like McFeely
Yeah.
and
Sorry, those
someone
two.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes,
then obviously the Russos had their way of doing it, and they had a lot of influence. I think those guys would be a bit annoyed with certain things because I think they would have written the show a little bit better, and kind of to kind of connect those films together would have made a lot more sense. I just hope Spellman, learns from what he's done from the show and does it better. I guess maybe because it was rushed because of COVID, things got in the way. And I just hope with this film, they just smash it out of the parks. Another Captain America film is going to be dope.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a crutch before Ewan goes. I'm going to give it a crutch just because COVID, what can you do? Disney doesn't want to be tone deaf and have that storyline going in, so that's fine. But Ewan, what you got to say?
Yeah, I think with the whole like rushing and the writing of it, I think the thing is that Marvel, it's not even just like the writers. I think just Marvel Studios in general are still figuring out doing these shows. Because if you look at WandaVision, that has issues with pacing. So does Falcon and Winter Soldier. I imagine Loki probably will as well. I think it's just a case of they're trying to figure out the stride in terms of the writing and in terms of pacing.
I feel like it's a bunch of. I think it's not just the writers. I think it's.
I think it's just everything.
Screenplay.
Not quite.
All the other stuff.
Yeah, not everything is quite like working perfectly just yet. But I think with a film, they know what they're doing. Like it's different to write a film than it is to write a series in terms of your narrative and setting up different subplots and such.
And the format's so different.
Yeah.
So
it's different. So like I don't necessarily have big worries about the writing in the film compared to the show, if I'm being honest.
The thing is though, like it's obviously transitioning from a show to a film, so it's going to feel different. It's a movie. So with this, like I hope, I do hope that we just see that fully fledged version of him being Cap, doing the things he would do as Cap, not like he's still kind of becoming it, because he's fully accepted that, and we saw it in the finale. He's ready to be Cap.
This is the origin.
I just want him to go straight into it, like no fussing.
But I would like to see them kind of. He's like struggling, and dealing with.
I'd like to see him like dealing with being
like backlash from the public.
Backlash,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in a sense, but I don't want that to be like that. Kind of would get. What's the word? I mean,
I think it's still good. It's still going to touch on those like issues. I think like real world
race and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to touch on that. I think you're always going to.
I don't want it to be.
So they brought back the writer.
The thing is, if they do it all, if they mainly focus about race, then that's just kind of throwing just a lot of like real world politics. As much as I love the MCU, I don't want too much of that in certain shows, because it's like it's kind of echoing what they did with Captain Marvel. And I know they're not afraid, and they said this, they weren't afraid to touch certain things in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, but there were times where it did cringe me a little bit. I will say that. And I just hope they don't make Sam's whole arc cringy. Oh, it's about him being black. Like, I see him as Captain America, not a black Captain America,
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like they can't. I hope they don't cringe it out and go like, yeah, I'm black, I'm proud, and I'm Cap. Like, I get that, because it is a race thing. Like, yeah, he said, the thing is that when he said about Steve, no blue eyes, no
blonde hair.
I guess I was kind of echoing what Isaiah said, so that made sense. But if he was saying that without Isaiah saying that, he's kind of insulting Steve. It's kind of like
I don't think it's Steve though. It's like
well, Steve was that.
If
it's like the poster boy.
To it,
I guess the poster boy thing in a sense, but I don't know.
Kind of seen as like the. It's kind of seen as the perfect individual. If we're going back to the Nazis, for example. They're perfect individuals.
Well, the Aryan race thing, but
exactly.
If he's talking about Nazism, that's a whole different story.
I don't think he is necessarily, but
I think that's just like the stereotype.
There's a lot of people.
I guess he was just trying to make
perfect individual is.
I think he's just trying to make a point, like that. He's different, and they got the thing about the judgment. They got to accept that he can't change what they think. He's gonna just do what he needs to do as Cap. So, I mean, there could be that whole struggle thing. Yeah, I think the struggle I'd like to see is how he doesn't have the serum and how that kind of makes it harder for him. But how amazing he can be with because he's got a Falcon suit. Steve couldn't fly. He doesn't have all this tech. So I can't wait to see that kind of more about how his capabilities work.
To me, that's like the most interesting part of the character. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's what could make him a better Captain America than Steve, because it's always about being a good man, not a perfect soldier. And Steve
Yeah.
had this serum, so that improves those like physical capabilities.
Like
but
Lamar
for Sam-
said, made him more of who he was. So,
yeah,
so if Sam had the serum, he honestly would just be he's not
be
corrupt,
OP.
so he'd be
oh
great.
yeah,
but
no. I just think
but
it's more interesting, like not to
he
have the
just it
serum.
makes him different. Yeah.
More human too. Yeah, he can more.
Exactly.
Again, it goes
Yeah.
to what Matt
It
said
makes
about
it.
being
You can
grounded.
you can like look at him and say like, I could be this person. Like if I train myself physically, I could be Captain America.
You know, have that good
Obviously
heart,
with
good
Steve,
spirit. Yeah.
yeah. Obviously with Steve, like you could be kind of like him, but you still wouldn't be quite as strong as him, and you probably couldn't jump further as him, and
I mean,
things
he's
like
not going to
that.
have that. Yeah, he's not going to have that edge, but he makes it
Yeah.
up with like the tech he has and like
Yeah,
he's very acrobatic. That's like one thing I like about Sam, like the way he
Very
uses
acrobatic, yeah.
wingsuit. You remember the first
Yeah.
5 minutes of like the first episode, like using it
Mm.
to pull people over and stuff, and he uses it with the shield against Batroc. He like
Yeah.
uses the wingsuit, batters him with it. I love that. That was cool.
But dude, I'm excited for this, man. This is awesome because I'll be quite honest with you. I don't know if they're gonna do a season 2. I won't be surprised if they don't do. I mean, if
Well,
they
I don't know
do
about
season
now
2,
because of this film.
I don't know about
Yeah.
now, but they kind of left it open a little bit too much. And
What do you think? Like, who would be the villain? Because
Now-
I have a feeling
I got a-
U.S.
I got a
agent could be
theory.
the villain in this because of
I
like
actually-
they have
yeah.
a fight in the comics. I don't know if that's like
What happens if they bring back that idea of the Serpent Society? They just
dude.
go ahead with that.
Dude, that would be freaking.
Yeah.
That would be mad. I would be
Because
I'd be
I think they had an idea of what Captain America's Serpent Society was going to be, but of course they changed it because of DC with Civil War. They brought us that.
This is
Now
early
they
in
can
development.
probably
And it's
get
called
that in this one.
This is early in development. It's called Captain America 4. So they obviously haven't got the title.
Yeah,
they're not going to
it's
reveal
called
that
Captain
until near the time.
Well, I
so-
mean, they're probably not actually referring to it as Captain America 4. It's just that anyone would make the assumption this is the 4th Captain America film.
Yeah, this is.
but the
the
reason,
Captain
yeah,
America Sam
true.
Wilson
But I don't think they're going to
movie.
reveal that title for a while because, like, they
Oh
didn't
no, it's gonna be a while.
because they'll just call it like
They won't
yeah,
have the title. They won't
Captain
even have
America
the title.
film, unnamed
Right.
Captain America film. Yeah,
And
And
look
I
how long
probably-
it took to reveal No Way Home, right? I mean,
Right.
exactly. That and
But Yeah,
It
I
would
think
make
this is a
sense.
phase. I think this is a phase 5 project, though. I don't see this in phase 4 because I just made the prediction
Yeah,
of 2023
early
being the
phase
end.
5.
yeah, I agree.
Early
I
phase
agree.
5.
This is like a 24.
This could be the
Yeah,
first film in
24.
phase 5.
I think
if that.
yeah.
Could be.
I think
Yeah.
especially with COVID as well, which pushed Falcon and Winter Soldier back. We don't know how long they've been working on this for though, because like Falcon and Winter Soldier have been done for a while, at least for the most part. Anyway, I think they did a couple of reshoot things, but
I
they
think it
could
was
have been working on this for like a year. Like we
I
don't
think they
know.
wanted the Disney. They want to see the ratings, how much it was doing.
I don't think
and it-
so. I
You
don't
don't
think
think
they
so?
did.
I feel like
No.
if
I
the
think they would
ratings
just go straight for
wasn't as on par with the quality of the show, then they probably would have given this a
Oh.
season 2. But the ratings I heard are great, and they're still counting because a lot of people are binging the show because there's binge warriors out there, and you know they're gonna see the numbers. But I think this was more of a reaction of the show was good, it's well received from critics and audience, and
I don't
Why
think.
not?
I think this has been in development for a while.
Yeah, I think
I think
it's
the story's
fine.
just
I
coming
think
out
it's-
now.
Do you know what? If
I think like
it
maybe
could, it could be
when-
like a plan B situation.
Maybe when the
Feige.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was announced, maybe they'd spoken to Mackie about we're going to do a film with you as well after.
Or maybe the
Yeah.
idea that the interviewer Braun, I don't know if you guys seen that clip. He was like, "Oh, maybe a Falcon Winter Soldier movie
yes,
road
and
trip."
Feige's face is like
Yeah.
that. He gets.
He's like, "That's a good
excited.
idea."
Write that down.
But-
Write that down.
But at the end of the day, Feige, the MCU, they're giving us what we want. They're giving us content. It's good quality content.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Warner Bros, but it's a mess over there.
At the end of the day, like
At the end of the day,
Marvel
Feige,
don't-
we trust.
Yeah.
I gotta say that.
Yes,
they don't
hail-
need to be
hail
reactionary.
Feige.
Yeah,
There's no reason for them to be reactionary. Like they can just be like, "We want to make this project," and they'll make it, and people are going to watch it. They don't need to
They're
think
gonna
about
watch
it. They're just like,
Yeah.
This
Let's-
is gonna,
let's make
this is gonna
this.
be huge. This film because,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's because it's not Steve as well. There's that interest with. Okay, it's obviously a lot of people like myself and you, Matt. Like, we're big Cap fans. And there's no more Steve, but like, it's like his Captain America, Sam's, is something we have not seen yet. Again, got the suit and everything. That's so different, and he hasn't got the serum. So that's going to interest me a lot. But again, like who could appear in this film is going to interest me. I just think there'll be some that Serpent Society thing that would
We
be
could get
interesting.
Torres could
Oh, it's
Torres.
Falcon.
probably suit as Falcon.
Yes.
I expect Bucky to probably
he's in
come
this.
back. Maybe even see Chris Evans popping up. Because it is true that Chris Evans is
Did you hear about
returning
the
in some
rumor,
ways.
Matt?
Yeah.
Apparently, if Chris Evans isn't attached to this, he's attached to another project. But they could just be saying that so then people don't kind of, you know.
Do you think people like, I don't know, let's call them casual fans, will see Captain America 4 and be like, it's the same, but black?
Yeah, some of the casuals. And you know what? There's some fans out there who are mad about.
There'll be new
having a
fans
black
there.
Captain
Just
America.
wait. There's always new
To
fans.
quote John Walker. I mean,
Yeah, and but you know the great thing about the episode we're talking about is like Sam Wilson recognized that there's people going to be out there who are not going to be fans of a Black Captain America. You know what I'm saying? But it's
almost
his
talking to the
power.
audience in there as well.
yeah.
It's always going to be something. It's his power to do the right thing. At the end of the day, he's going to do the right thing, and that's Captain America right there. That's at the end of the day, that's Captain America supposed to be about.
There's no really issue with him being Captain America being black. I think I
there could be
never
some audience
ever saw
members.
it in that way. Like when I saw Sam Wilson in the
Mhm.
comics suiting up, I thought that was cool, and the fact they're doing it really just it's literally straight out of the comics. So anyone who has an issue with it in that way just really needs to get grip. Like it's not a biggie.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
black,
Jog on.
brown, whatever color, it doesn't matter. Like as long as he's American, that's the main thing.
He's American, and the quality of the stuff is good. And I feel like the
And
quality
he's
here
a
is gonna
good
be
man. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a good show. I think the writer, we'll see what he does with a movie, but I'm interested in who to pick for director. I know the Russos talked about how they're only coming back if they're doing Secret Wars, so they're not coming back until they do a big event. I would love to see the Russos come back for this because they're gonna give me that stuff that I like, that grounded stuff. But if they bring back the director of this show, I'll be fine with it. She was good in
What's her name?
Kerry Scotland.
Was it
Carrie
one for the
Scotland,
whole
yeah.
season?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did the whole season.
So she has a lot of mimics of the Russos type directing it. Let's keep it real. The budget is gonna. I mean, I don't know, man. WandaVision's budget was insane, but the budget should be a little bit bigger
as well.
This is a film, so it should be a little bit bigger in the films. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this. Why not? Bring it on. So cannot wait for this. And yeah, man. It's gonna be fun to check that out. But yeah, man, that's gonna be our show here today. Before we head out of here, I got to do my plugins for my beautiful guests that joined me today and from previous episodes, starting with Luk Reviews.
Thanks for having me on. It's always fun, great discussions. You can find me on Luk Reviews on YouTube and Instagram. Hopefully we get that Falcon and Winter Soldier video out this week, if I can get my thoughts together in one piece. Yeah, hopefully I'll be back on the channel soon, and thanks for having me.
Of course. And Ewan from Mchat.
Yes, you can find me over at Mchat on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, basically any social media that exists. And then over on Twitch, it's Mplay Goes Live. I'll probably stream Avengers sometime this week, maybe, or something. I've got a Falcon and Winter Soldier review, which I probably should have posted like 2 days ago, but I'm still in the process of editing it, so that'll probably be out tomorrow. We've got a couple of films coming out this week, Mitchell vs. Machines, and Without Remorse as well, Invincible finale, so I'll do a full season review of that. But yeah, Matt, once again, thanks for having me on. It's great to have a conversation with everyone here, and very excited for the Bad Batch spoiler talks, which will be starting next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday that we're doing it?
The show next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. That's it.
So Bad Batch will be happening with me, not Shamoon, Ewan. He's gonna be my co-host, so that should be fun. But I got Shamoon on my mind because he's my next one to plug in. Shamoon, where can good people find you?
Dude, this is fun. Can't wait to do the next show. Obviously, we've got like a good several weeks. But yeah, thanks for again. Been fun doing this whole thing with Falcon Winter Soldier. Great having everyone on and talking to you guys and everyone that's been on previously. You guys can find me at ShamoonReacts on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube at ShamoonReacts. And if you are a Cobra Kai fan, you can find me at Cobra Kai Nation on YouTube and CK Nation YT on Instagram as well. But guys, it's been super fun talking to you about this. And yeah, really looking forward to what else is coming with the MCU. And the Loki series is shaping up to be a good one. So hopefully that delivers.
And of course, man, you guys can follow me here on Basic Entertainment. If this is your first time on the channel, go ahead and follow me. Give me a subscribe. I do the same thing that everyone else does. Why not? But I do these discussion videos because this is why I want to base the channel off. These discussions, these opinions are always fun to enjoy. And while we're talking about Captain America 4, Basic Entertainment, we're also a Basic Entertain rumors and news stuff. I do have exclusive for upcoming Marvel project, Basic Entertainment only. You guys need to check this out. Here's exclusive leak. Check it out. Luke is out of here, man. That's a classic show.
Cut me off.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's our show. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys soon as Luk Reviews is back. We are out. See you guys next time. Stay positive.
Bye.
Deuces.